through turn 17, the final turn. All of the off-season stuff is gone. It's behind us. It's time to go racing in 2021 here at Barber Motorsports Park.
Green.
Good clean start. Rossi is pressuring Pato O'Ward and then Alex Palou.
Rossi is very eager to get by in the first turn. We have a car off in the grass, but he collects it.
Rinus VK.
Oh, he touches wheels with Simon Pagenaud as well, but Rossi wants to make the move on the first lap.
Oh! Newgarden.
That's blind uphill. A big accident right there.
Colton Herta,
over the place.
Hunter Ray, Dalton Kellett, Max Chilton,
Rosenquist,
Hinchcliffe. Huge moment.
I got loose in dirty air.
Newgarden said he got loose up over the hill. It's completely blind over the hill, lost it in the grass, and as everybody else came over the hill, it's driving into a surprise. Cars all over the track.
You can't see a thing if you're a trailing car coming over that blind rise. It's like a country road rolling through the hills and just nowhere to go for all of these trailing cars. There you see the Gainbridge Honda of Colton Herta, massive damage to the right front. Ryan Hunter-Ray is out. That's another Andretti team car.
And massive championship implications for Newgarden, Hunter-Ray, all these guys out, and Jimmy Johnson was the benefactor. He got through all of this, but look at this. As we come up over the hill, he gets loose, gets in the grass, loses it. Nobody else can see anything till they come over the rise, and look at all these cars just stack in. And Jimmy Johnson comes to a stop and threads his way through that like it's a Talladega wreck.
Oh, Hunter-Ray just clobbered Newgarden.
Rinus VK was one of the fortunate ones there. He got through and then got straightened up again. Watch this. Hunter-Ray coming up that outside. There's the big collision between two championship-winning drivers in this series. VK in the Sonax car. Look at Rosenquist up in the air to the left. My goodness.
Tell you guys, that was some heads-up driving by Jimmy Johnson. Look at him right there. He stopped. He's getting out of the way of the wing. He's like picking his way through. Like I said, like it's a Talladega, like it's a big wreck there. So really heads-up driving by Jimmy Johnson to get through there.
Yeah, certainly not what Joseph wanted at one of his best racetracks. And simply got to ask you, what happened on lap one, Joseph?
Well, I just, sorry, I'm trying to keep right mic here. I got loose coming over the hill. It was a good start. You know, we were lining in pretty nicely, but yeah, I just got loose in the wake. I thought I had the car and then touched the grass. And I think once I touched the grass, that pitched me sideways. So, you know, feel really bad for anyone that got involved in that. Obviously, my mess created a bigger mess. So, yeah, any of the cars that got involved, I'm real sorry because it was obviously us that tipped it off. Shame. I felt like we had a really good car. You know, we just needed to file in there at the start. Partially did that. But, yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda, I guess, for Hitachi and Chevrolet. But we'll come back. You know, we just got to bounce back, go to the next one.
Back to green, Lee, and certainly not the start Joseph Newgarden wanted to the season.
Bouncing back to action, Jack Harvey, you see there in that pink and black car for Meyer Shank Racing, the Auto Nation Sirius XM car. There it is right there. Jack got pretty lucky in that big melee as well, but it's Pato O'Ward who leads the way in the Arrow McLaren SP Chevrolet.
Nice little restart for Pato O'Ward. He's one of these guys that uses the tires pretty hard, and I spoke with Rossi last night. He's told me that if I can't get by him in the first couple laps of the run, I'm just going to pressure him, Townsend, keep the pressure on, make him use fuel, and I'm good at saving fuel and hopefully wear the tire as he slides almost off the track right there.
Big moment for O'Ward as Rossi closes as they head to turn 12.
This is the most exhilarating part of the track, and O'Ward is loose. Rossi is ready to pounce.
Oh, he's really loose.
Wow, shocking after just one lap to see O'Ward with that much oversteer. The rear end of that Aero car is all over the place.
Rossi keeping the pressure on. He's right there on the back wing of Pato O'Ward, so he's just going to continue hounding him, as Alex Palou is also right there in the mix as well in the red-blue car.
The Spaniard has found a really good new home at Chip Ganassi Racing. He is fast, he is happy, and he is ready to capitalize on that position in his second season in IndyCar racing. There's Alex right there.
And I'll tell you, O'Ward just seems so comfortable. I mean, we're up here catching our breath watching that car dance around, but all weekend, Paul, O'Ward totally at home, frankly, with the thing sliding around underneath him, and now it seems like things have settled down a bit.
Well, Rossi is silky smooth, and he doesn't use tires very hard. Pato has really been driving the wheels and the tires right off of this car. You can see Rossi, Marty, he's right there just hounding him.
And Paul, one of the things I found interesting in morning warm-up this morning is Ward's just sliding all over the place. I think that's where he's honestly comfortable, is just sliding that car everywhere. They are on the alternate softer tires. They did not make a long run in morning warm-up on those softer red tires, so honestly, they had no clue what they would do in the race today. I think they're a little bit free. What do you think, Townsend?
Oh yeah.
We've got a car
and we've got
here
somebody.
somewhere. Jimmy Johnson has spun coming down the hill. That's right before the end of the track, the last couple of corners. Fastest corner on the track there. Pretty dangerous spot to be in.
There's the caution.
Full course yellow.
It's full course. Hang tight.
If he can roll down the hill, get that thing rolling, he might be able to bump start it. And I think he will. And not lose a lap. Just
Running.
Let's have a look at what happened to Jimmy Johnson. Following Rinus VeeKay, and gets loose up over the crest. It's been a wild IndyCar debut for the 7-time NASCAR Cup champion, the 21-year-old Mexican Pato O'Ward, with a terrific restart.
Nice restart by Palou right there on the back of Rossi. Pato got a nice little jump, but he's got super loose rear end and it's real slidey, so we'll see, Townsend, how this first lap shakes out for him if he's sliding around still.
All these drivers in the top 13 going back to Hinchcliffe, all on the alternate Firestone red tires, managing those tires. And the tire wear is so important on this stage because they're soft, they wear out faster. And if you can make them last based on all the yellows, you might be able to do this in 2 stops. The action fierce in the back with Rinus VeeKay going side by side.
Look at this though, Ed Jones, Simon Pagenaud and Scott Mclaughlin. Mclaughlin was under pressure from that Sealmaster Honda. He's been able to get away. Now Pagenaud in that bright yellow Menard Chevrolet for Team Penske is pressuring the returning driver from Dubai. Race leader is in. Pato O'Ward brings it to his pit box and Rossi is in as well.
And lead Pato O'Ward came on the radio, said, we've got to get off these red tires. You guys heard that? Pato O'Ward, the leader here at Barber, leading, and he keeps the lead over Alexander Rossi better. We saw O'Ward sliding all over the racetrack on those red alternate Firestone tires. He wanted those primary black tires. At the same time, Alexander Rossi pitted, but a great job by the Arrow McLaren SP team, keeping the lead here on pit road for Pato O'Ward.
The guy who's on track still, Alex Palou, ran a lap longer than these guys and is going to lay down a big lap time. He might have an opportunity to jump in front of these guys because I believe, Townsend, that Pato O'Ward was really holding these guys up, and here comes, Palou stays out again, so he's going to go for 2 laps. This could be a big advantage for him.
Palou is flying all weekend. It looked like the Chip Ganassi Racing team has been the best of the bunch in terms of taking care of their tires, and they're proving it here.
Fastest lap of the race, last lap was Alex Palou, just laid down the fastest lap of the race so far.
The Segi TV Honda for Chip Ganassi Racing. Yes, part of a huge entourage there at Chip Ganassi Racing with Scott Dixon, Jimmy Johnson himself, Marcus Ericsson, all 3 cars going well. 3 of the 4 at the front. Tony Kanaan will be in for events as well. Lots going on at Chip's team. Kelly?
And I saw Chip Ganassi just before the start of this race, and I asked him what he thought of his new young driver, and Alex Palou. He said, quote, unbelievable. He said, I knew we had something on our hands when we went to Laguna Seca, and he outpaced Scott Dixon. He did it time and again in testing, and this weekend he has proved to be ultra fast, fastest in practice 1, and looking for a big result to kick things off here at Chip Ganassi Racing.
All of these teams on the alternate tires just hanging on, and kind of 5 drivers are in that game right now, the top 5 trying the 2-stop strategy. And if you take a step back and kind of look at it from that standpoint, with 8 laps of caution early in this race, that really opened up the window, Townsend, for a 2-stop race. So I think that's what these teams really banked on, those 8 laps of caution, kind of buying them the front end time that allowed the 2-stop race. And they feel like, hey, we weren't going to beat Pato O'Ward on pace alone, so if we went 3-stop, we would finish behind him. Let's do something different. Let's see if it gets us a win.
Well, and the only way to make that 2-stop strategy work on the opening stint, if you start on reds, you have to have a great balance and a great race car, which Palou clearly has. Chip Ganassi Racing the class of the field right now in terms of managing tire wear. You saw earlier Pato O'Ward, he had to throw the white flag and come to pit lane, just couldn't hang on to the back end of the car. The balance, Paul, on this number 10 Segi car looking really strong.
He's complaining about it, but he's going a second a lap on the last lap quicker than Will Power, and he's gapped it out now to almost 7 seconds. So you got to keep going as long as you're pulling away from the rest of the field.
Lee, you remember how sideways we saw Pato O'Ward early? You just see none of that from the back of Palou.
He's managed these tires beautifully. Fast and managing it, which is a wonderful combination. But that pit stop is not too far away for Alex Palou. One of his new teammates this year is, of course, Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy had a spin earlier, got going again. He's out on those softer compound Firestone alternates. And for those of you wondering just how Jimmy's day has been, well, he had a little bit of masterful driving very early on. After he said goodbye to the family, little did he know what was coming up on the opening lap, and he was able to weave his way through here in spectacular fashion. Bounced off James Hinchcliffe, avoided the debris, and was able to continue. But on lap 10,
learning about airflow, comes up over the top there in turn 12 behind another car, and that caused him to get backwards, flat spot those Firestones, and here he comes in to put on the softer red tires. So learning the school of hard knocks in IndyCar, Paul.
Absolutely. Got to keep going, and he's going to get a, here's a little radio we've got for Jimmy Johnson. Let's see how he feels about it.
You're doing good, Jimmy. Just keep pushing here. You can use overtake if you need to, but right now just get clean air, go.
So we talked about using the overtake. 200 seconds available for this race, and it's always fun to see just how liberal some drivers are and how conservative some drivers are at this stage of the race. About 1/3 of the way in, here are the remaining seconds of push to pass. It's always those young guns like Palou on the button, and there we look down to Jimmy Johnson. What does he have left? 200 seconds.
Same as Will Power.
So, Jimmy, get on that horsepower. Get on the go fast button, bud. You got a lap to make up.
The guy who's responded now is Pato O'Ward. He just did a 107.7 and has set the fastest lap of the race. So he has responded to the demands from his engineer. He's got to get up and go, but Townsend, I think it might be a little bit too late.
Now, a lot can happen with strategy and yellow flags, but right now, both O'Ward and Palou have to make 2 more stops, and O'Ward's 31 seconds behind after going with the 3-stop strategy. This guy is a machine right now. Alex Palou's flying to pit lane.
What a day this would be on debut for Chip Ganassi Racing to go to the top step of the podium. Kelly Stavist is standing by for Alex Palou's first stop of the day.
A huge effort for Alex Palou. They told him to use some of that overtake button on his in-lap to pit road, and finally he gets those alternate tires off. He will be happy to have those black primary tires put on. Some fresh Firestones for Alex Palou, and we'll see if he makes this strategy work.
So Power and Dixon stay out. They'll undoubtedly be to pit lane real soon, and then we'll have to watch the blend-out battle. And this outlap so critical right here for Palou if he can stay in front of Jack Harvey.
And he's way ahead of Pato O'Ward. He's got 2 cars in between himself and Pato right there. You'll see Pato coming around the corner there behind Dalton Kellett. He's been held up behind him for the last 5 laps.
Harvey's on hot tires. Palou is on the harder black tire. It takes a while for the black tire to come in, and Palou will desperately want to keep Harvey behind him because of the overcut attempt coming from Power and Dixon.
Jack Harvey's got a new teammate this year in Elio Castro Neves, 3-time Indianapolis 500 winner. Elio is here at Barber Motorsports Park this weekend, part of the Meyer Shank Racing organization. Watching, Elio will do the 500 and select events. Here's O'Ward on the charge, trying to catch Palou. Yet to pit, Will Power, Scott Dixon, Marcus Ericsson, and Romain Grosjean. The one-time race leader and pole sitter in the Arrow McLaren SP Chevrolet, Pato O'Ward has got by Alex Palou. Battle between the two young guys, the 21-year-old Mexican, the 24-year-old Spaniard.
For the effective lead of the race, Bourdais and VK have yet to pit, but this is really the lead battle. Townsend, he has now forced himself into a 3-stop strategy, so he's got to go flat out, and Alex Palou right here has got to kind of make a fuel number to do this on 2.
Bourdais and VK did pit on lap 11 on the last yellow, so they run 1-2 right now. They'll also have to make 2 more stops, so they're more in the strategy with Award, but what Award needs to do here is try to put about 30 seconds on Palou, and this was the move to get by. Award worked hard to try to keep, Palou worked hard to keep Award by in the back, but then as soon as Award gets by here, Palou's team came on and gave him the fuel number he needs to hit to stay on that 2-stop strategy.
Award is driving the wheels off the car right now. He's opened up a sizable gap on Palou already, as he's now starting to close down on VK. VK and Bourdais don't have the pace. There's Bourdais in the pits. Dave?
Yeah, Paul, he is going to get changed as well, this time in full of fuel in the 14 car. All weekend struggling, and then this morning in warm-up, maybe finding a little bit more for the 14 car, trying to bring it back to prominence for A.J. Foyt. Sebastian obviously very good behind the wheel, and he's had a great season so far after a fine run at the Rolex 24 in IMSA, and then, of course, the win at Sebring. He's got the talent. Can he get the program back on pace?
17th year in IndyCar racing. Remember when he had that pause, Sebastian Bourdais, and went off to Formula One when he drove for the then Scuderia Toro Rosso as Sebastian Bourdais' teammate, Sebastian Vettel's teammate. It is always great to have Seb around. Here's Pagenaud, second stop of the day for the fellow Frenchman.
It's been a pretty quiet weekend for Pagenaud. He really hasn't been able to find the balance on the car or get a good lap time. Qualified poorly. Right now running in 18th, so it's a little bit of a down day for him.
Scott Mclaughlin and Rinus VK. That's the fight for 9th at the moment, and Mclaughlin grabs that spot.
It's a tall order as a driver, you know, use as much fuel as you need, but don't use too much fuel. And this battle in the top 5, guys, to me is absolutely fascinating. You have 1st and 3rd, Award and Rossi on the 3-stop strategy, and then 2nd, 4th, and 5th, Palou, Power, and Dixon on the 2-stop strategy. So what wins out? Those guys on the 3-stop strategy will be coming very soon. This is fascinating as to what will make the winner here at Barber today.
Well, in order to make pace work, you've got to have clean air, as Award comes up behind Jimmy Johnson to put Jimmy another lap down. So Jimmy being cool there to get out of the way, let the leader by. I'm sure
Pushing. We will pit
tough
this
to
lap.
digest
Pit
for
this
the
lap.
48, not even at half distance, and he's already 2 laps down, but he's learning quickly.
Yeah, Award is coming to pit lane. His team just said pit this lap, so he's pulled a 5-second gap.
Pretty excited.
He's just excited to be back racing. He said, I'm sick of sitting around my apartment. I want something to do. I'm ready to go racing. And race he has well today. Let's watch the execution of this stop.
You can hustle it all the way down the hill here. This tight corner, you have to be careful. Rosenquist, his teammate, wrecked in practice. There's pit speed line.
Take it away, Marty.
Pato Award trying to win his first career IndyCar race. They will have to pit one more time. 48 to go. He comes down pit road. They asked him, do you want any changes? He said, no, this thing is very good right now. And the one thing you'll see different on this stop, these are sticker primary tires. Last time they were scuffed primary tires, so it'll take about 5 laps for those to come in. We'll see if he loses any time to Alexander Rossi on his same strategy.
There is Scott Mclaughlin. He last pitted on lap 25, getting used to as many things as the 7-time champion Jimmy Johnson we talked about. Turbo is one of those things. Remember, the cars that he drove in the Supercar Series, those did not have it. He's been doing fine with it and has adapted. Remember, he had problems with his steering wheel in practices this weekend. He was doing some things manually, Townsend. He wasn't getting the indicator light to shift at the right time. He had to adjust to go manual to some degree and has really been adapting well.
Done a remarkable job. Now, different than the other 2 rookies with Jimmy Johnson and Grosjean. Mclaughlin did get that one race at the end of last season in St. Pete. So he's got one leg up. And he's with Team Penske, Paul, a team you know well. and all kinds of help and support there. As I understand, Rossi is coming to pit lane. Kelly?
And just like Pato O'Ward ahead of him, he will be getting sticker black primary Firestone tires put on, and they told him they were going to make an adjustment to help him with the front end of that race car. That's the second stop of the day for Alexander Rossi.
Trick for Rossi as he's going to need to try to get ahead of Alex Palou on track. There's Bourdais right behind Pato O'Ward. Here comes Rossi out on the cold tires now.
Rejoins behind the Sonax Chevrolet of Rinus VK. So Palou now is enjoying a 10-second advantage over Will Power. Oh, problems here for Pato O'Ward.
That's Bourdais.
Yeah, Bourdais gets by.
And Bourdais on the same strategy, so that's a huge moment for Bourdais.
Focus, head down, dude. Head down. We can get these guys back. Once you're up the tip, you'll get these guys back.
Encouragement for O'Ward. Just keep calm. We can regroup. We can get them back.
Hey, Lee, he came on the radio and said, what is up with that guy? What's his problem? He is not happy. I'm assuming it's with Sebastian Bourdais. We'll check.
What's up with that guy? He's a 4-time champion and a 35, 36-time winner, and he's got a sniff at a win for AJ Foyt, so he's going for it.
The Spaniard continues to dominate this race. And do you know that Oriol Servia, who's driving the Honda Civic Type R pace car today, is the only Spaniard to win an IndyCar race? That was in Montreal some 16 years ago.
His pace, Townsend, has just been so consistent, just knocking down 107.9s to 108.2s. He's not even in the top 5 in fastest laps. It's Pato O'Ward, Sebastian Bourdais. So he's not the fastest guy on track, but he's been super consistent.
Coaching coming from pit lane. I believe they were saying pit stops use overtake.
No, do not use overtake.
Okay.
Do not use overtake.
So
Kelly?
that means he's tight on fuel. Kelly?
His teammate Marcus Ericsson pitting from 4th position, just completing his service, but you heard him correctly. They called Alex Palou to pit road, but said do not use overtake, unlike the last time they called him to pit road when he was allowed to use it. They have got some sticker black Firestones on the wall here for Alex Palou.
Ericsson pits from 4th place. That now puts the rest of the lead group on notice. They are all in the danger zone, Paul. If a yellow comes out now, Ericsson cycles to the front.
I would assume that the strategy will be the same across the board for Dixon and Palou.
Here comes
Palou.
Palou
Come in the next lap.
They don't want to risk get caught out by a yellow. Race leader is in. Should be for the final time today. Back to Kelly Stavis. Kel?
As Alex Palou brings his car in, that last stint was all about hitting his fuel numbers, which he appears to have done, so he will get those sticker black primary tires on. And what a feat it could be for the 24-year-old Spaniard if he could win on debut, and here is his teammate.
Scott Dixon at the head of pit road. We've talked about putting on sticker tires or scuff tires, and those scuff tires, the Firestones come in so much quicker. Dixon going with scuff tires. We'll see if that helps him get quick lap time. He is a master at those out laps. Will Power coming this lap as well, guys.
There's his teammate, Jimmy Johnson. He comes out right behind Jimmy Johnson. I will guarantee that he moves out of the way for him. They are sniffing if this plays out, if Power has a problem on the pit stop. Ganassi is sniffing at a podium sweep.
1, 2, 3 with Alex Palou and Scott Dixon and Marcus Ericsson. Ericsson is thrilled to keep his ride at Chip Ganassi Racing and have consistency against Will Power.
Good job.
Whoa, he's close to that inside wall.
Power hustling it right here. He knows that taking some risk can make the difference on the in and out laps.
Marty Snyder's standing by. Take it away, mate.
He's going to have to go around Graham Rahal's guys who kindly pick up that right front Firestone tire that was laying on pit road. Power very happy. Asked Ron Rzuski, a strategist, can I go hard? They told him no, we need to save fuel. He too was scuffed Firestone primary tires. We'll see how Power cycles out.
Graham Rahal in for his final stop of the day. Here's Romain Grosjean. Dave?
Grosjean hits pit road. Remember, he'll have to wait about 3 extra seconds over a Formula One pit stop to get his muscle memory in there, but he'll get 4 fresh tires and an air pressure adjustment in that 51, the purple car, leaving pit road.
There you see the blend battle. Exchange, yeah, a close exchange with Palou just barely beat out Will Power. So
Power made up huge time.
Mix.
Huge time on that exchange.
1 second even between first and second. Power has still got considerably more push to pass to get that extra boost. He needs to bridge that gap. Dixon's in view, and Pato O'Ward is only 3.7 seconds behind the race leader.
Last lap for O'Ward, a 107.5, 108, 108.6 for Palou. He's clawing these guys down a second a lap.
There's O'Ward now, the black and orange Aero McLaren SP car. We thought he was out of it, but he hasn't given up. He had the fuel to go full pace, full send, and now he's all over Scott Dixon.
This is awesome. You're seeing the balance here of young and old, experience and relative inexperience in the NTT IndyCar Series. We couldn't ask for it to be better in this top 4. 2 laps to go.
You need it. 2 to go.
Pato O'Ward right there driving in anger. He'll be gutted not to win this race, having scored the pole and had such a fast car. He's been clearly, Townsend, the fastest car on the racetrack all day, but the strategy just wasn't right today.
Just 1 bullet left in the push-to-pass chamber for Pato O'Ward. Everybody else you see there, 23 for Palou. Power looking in the catbird seat. He'll start using the button. 90 seconds is about a lap and a half around here. So if you're Will Power, if you've got the fuel, lay into it with the thumb and let's turn up the wick.
Yeah, go for it. Don't leave it too late.
Slot 1, use as much overtake as you want.
There you go. There's the signal to go. Use all the push to pass all the way to the checkered flag.
Up and over the turn 13, 14 hill for the second last time. Will Power's got to use that push to pass if he's going to do anything about Alex Palou. They begin their final 2.38 miles here at Barber Motorsports Park. And Alex Palou has done a mighty job to sustain this pressure while dealing with looking at traffic up ahead in the form of Connor Daly, the last car on the lead lap. Meanwhile, looking in his mirrors and seeing an ever-present Will Power.
He's had to manage tires, he's had to manage strategy, he's had to match and meet the anticipation and the expectation of Chip Ganassi, signing him to this incredible ride in the 10 car. A flawless job so far.
He's a few corners away from wrapping this up, but Connor Daly is going to have a complete another lap to attack Ed Jones.
This guy, the 24-year-old Spaniard, who out of the car has such a lovely demeanor. He's such a pleasant young man behind the wheel. He is an animal. It's time for the motor racing world to say hello, Palou. Alex Palou wins his maiden IndyCar race.
Checker flag, baby.
At
You're
Barber
an Indy winner.
Motorsports Park.
Awesome, man. Great job, everybody.
Winning on
No
debut.
way! Oh my God. Mixture 8. Mixture 8. Amazing! Yes! Awesome, mixture 8.
There's Chip Ganassi. Chip loves winners, and he's got another one. Alex Palou joins Michael Andretti.
Thank you, team. You are amazing, really. Thank you, Chip, for the opportunity. Thank you, everybody.
Oh. Congratulations, everybody. It's really awesome.
Look at him, the joy. Oh,
Moved from his original American home of Austin, Texas to Indy in the offseason to show his dedication. And wow, did you honestly think a win in your debut was possible when you signed this deal with Chip Ganassi Racing in the offseason, Alex?
I mean, it was possible because we knew we had the best team, we had the best car. So yeah, it was possible. And Ricky, my chief engineer, told me you cannot win them all unless you win the first one. So we did it. It's amazing. Chip, all the team did an amazing job. Like, we had the best cars, and I just felt amazing. It's amazing to be part of the winning drivers. We're starting strong and we'll keep it strong.
With all the strategy that was going on today, you guys on a 2-stop strategy, O'Ward and everybody else on a 3-stop strategy, how did you manage all that inside the race car and not get panicked at all?
It was just the team that was telling me on the radio, yeah, keep it doing like you're doing or hit that mileage. And I was like, okay, I'll hit it. It's easy. So yeah, we did it. I think it was one of those days when everything went well. We got good fuel mileage, good tire management, and good pace. So it was an amazing race.
Watch the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg Sunday, April 25th at noon on NBC.